welcome to this week's episode of Plants with Patrick. This week, we're going to learn how to save seeds from tomatoes. I love tomatoes, and right now my garden has so many tomatoes I can hardly even use all of them. Saving tomato seeds is a little bit different from saving some other kinds of seeds because you have to do a little process called water winnowing. It's a kind of fermentation process that helps separate the seeds from a gel coating that they have around them. So, first things first, you're going to need a wooden spoon, a sieve, access to a sink with running water, a spoon, a knife, paper towels, a rubber band, some clean glass jars, and a non-stick surface like a ceramic or glass plate or a glass cutting board. I'm going to do this demonstration without a sink, and so I also have a container of water that I'm going to use for demonstration purposes. So, this is a perfectly ripe Arkansas Traveler tomato, and I say that because it's important what kinds of tomatoes you use when you're saving seeds. You're going to want to save the seeds of only heirloom and heritage varieties of tomatoes. Hybrid varieties aren't going to work. They're just, even if you save the seeds, it's not going to grow the same plant next year. It'll be slightly different. But if you use an open pollinated heritage or heirloom variety, like this Arkansas Traveler, that's going to work. So, first things first, you will begin by taking a ripe piece of fruit, like this one here, and cutting it so that you can get access to its insides. Then, you will scoop out the seeds and the surrounding pulp into a clean glass jar. You don't have to do all the flesh, just the like watery pulpy stuff around the seeds. So you'll just scoop all of that right into this jar. And then you can still eat the flesh from this tomato, so that's good news. And then I'll do it with this one. So just the kind of like jelly-like stuff and the seeds. And then if you're using a smaller piece of fruit, or like a smaller heirloom cherry tomato, you can also slice it in half, but you can also just kind of squeeze the seeds right out into your jar. Usually you wouldn't do two varieties of tomatoes in the same jar, but I'm just doing this so that you can see the different methods. Usually you would just do one variety of tomato in your jar, and once you had squeezed the seeds in, I like to make a little label for the jar so that I can remember what kind of variety of tomato I'm saving seeds from. So this is my Arkansas Traveler, and I'll just label my jar like that. Then, once you have all the seeds in the jar, you're going to pour some water over that, either from your sink or from your little basin like I have here. Just enough to cover the seeds, maybe like an inch worth of water. And then you let that sit covered with a paper towel and a rubber band in a warm place for approximately 2 to 5 days. After 2 to 5 days, you're going to notice this one isn't quite ready, but again, I'm just trying to demonstrate something. But basically what happens is you'll notice that all of the seeds from the tomato are resting on the bottom for the most part. And you'll notice that the pulp and the water start to separate up. So you'll have a layer of watery pulp, and then you'll have all the seeds on the bottom. And when you look closely in there, you can see that maybe the seed doesn't have that gel coating that I was talking about. So I don't know how easy it'll be able to see from there, but every tomato seed has this little gel coating on it. And it's really easy to see. And basically that gel coating prevents germination so that the seed can't make a plant while that gel coating is still there. So when you put it in the water, it breaks down that gel coating, the testa, and you can then grow a plant from that seed after that coating has been removed. The other thing that fermenting it, or water winnowing, as this process is also called, does is the process of fermentation gets rid of any sort of bacteria or fungi that live on the seed. So you're cleaning the seed, you're getting rid of that gel coating that prevents it from growing a new plant. And then, so after 2 to 5 days, you're going to take your seeds and you're going to skim off all of the pulp and any scum that's maybe formed on the top. So you'll skim off everything out of the jar gently except the seeds. So let's see. I'm just doing this. So then I just have my seeds in the jar, and then I'm going to use my sieve, and I'm going to pour the seeds down through there. And if I had access to a sink, I'd keep running water over them, and I'd use the back of my wooden spoon to just kind of move them around gently in the sieve to remove any other material that's stuck to the seeds, any remaining gel coating, and any other pulp. So I think, oops, I just made a mess. But so you'll know you're doing this right if the seeds don't have any remaining coating on them and they can get perfectly clean. So once you have your perfectly clean seeds, you're going to get a nice clean paper towel. This one will work. And you're going to take the seeds from your sieve and you're going to put them onto the paper towel. And that will remove any other water that's still on the seeds, or just any excess water. And then you'll transfer them from the paper towel to your non-stick surface, your plate. So you'll have these seeds on the plate. Sometimes they're a little bit annoying to get off the paper towel. And as long as there's no coating, as long as these seeds are perfectly clean, they'll just continue to dry out on this plate. And so you'll have your seeds on the plate, and you'll keep your plate in a dry place out of direct sunlight. You'll keep it there for 2 to 3 weeks so that the seeds fully dry out. And then you can, after that point, when the seeds are fully dry, you can scrape them off the plate and put them into a paper envelope of some kind. So this is just like a regular envelope that you might mail a letter in. And I always label it with the variety of tomato that I'm growing. And I put the seeds in there, and then you have tomato seeds for next year, and actually they'll probably be good for about 5 years, as long as you store them in a cool, relatively temperature consistent place, out of direct sunlight again. So I think we've covered everything. Your goal with storing tomato seeds is that you're going to want to make sure that the seed coat is it is fully removed by doing your water winnowing, which takes 2 to 5 days, and then you're going to want to make sure that they're totally dry and clean, which takes about 2 to 3 weeks. And then you're good to go, and you'll have tomatoes for years to come. Have fun gardening.